You should absolutely be playing Gambit. This is a video on all the different guns from Gambit and all the different god rolls you can get. I'm going to go over each and every weapon and tell you which rolls I would be chasing. For Gnawing Hunger, the main things you're going to look for are the Void-related perks. You can get Destabilizing Rounds and Repulsor Brace, or you can get Destabilizing Rounds and Withering Gaze. But if you're a PvP player, it also has Tap the Trigger and Enlighten Action in that third column, as well as Dynamic Sway Reduction or Master of Arms in that final column. Hush is a bow that actually has a few interesting roles. Firefly and Mega Nura could be a very good play, as well as Firefly with Dragonfly, which is a very unique role. But if you want to go for strictly solar, you have the option of Burning Ambition and Incandescent in separate columns, which is very, very cool. 21% Delirium is a pretty good gun that got some great unique roles. The main thing I would go for, though, is going to be Reconstruction and Killing Tally. That's just like the all-around, all-purpose role I would go for. It has some arc-related perks like Trickle Charge, Rolling Storm, and Gear Shift, as well as Jolting Feedback, but I feel like Gear Shift kind of is counterintuitive with a perk that auto-reloads, which, Trickle Charge auto-reloads, Reconstruction auto-reloads, so if you're going to go with Gear Shift, I would take something like Feeding Frenzy or Eddy Current. Not only that, it also has Mega Kill Clip, so if you're going to be going with a reload build, that's also a good option to go for. Bad Omens is a rocket launcher that got some really good damage perks. It got Explosive Light, Bait and Switch, as well as Elemental Honing. But the role that I think is very unique is actually going to be Withering Gaze and Destabilizing Rounds. That's something you don't see on a rocket often, and I think this might be the only one that has that role combination. I am not a PvP player, so I don't know exactly what the PvP god roll for this gun would be, but I would think something like Opening Shot and Mag Howl would be pretty nuts on Trust for PvP. But if you're a PvE player, Firefly and Incandescent is what I would probably go for, but you also have the role of Firefly and Dragonfly as well. Soul Survivor is a sniper rifle I'm not too enthused about. The best role I think you can get is going to be Envious Arsenal and Elemental Honing, but it could also get Mega Kill Clip, Gear Shift, and Firing Line in that final column, with a weird role of Volt Shot and Eddy Current as well. Volt Shot on a sniper rifle, I don't really know how I feel about that, but maybe there is some play there. But if you're a PvP player, I would probably go with something like Snapshot and Eye of the Storm as that best role for PvP. I've already admitted once in this video I'm not a PvP player, but anything on this gun is probably good for PvP. It's got Keep Away, Moving Target, Snapshot Sights, Rapid Hit, Slide Shot. There's a lot of good PvP perks here. Opening Shot, Eye of the Storm, Kill Clip. I know that people are probably two-tapping with this thing, but like I said, I'm not educated on that. The best role for PvE, though, that I'll go with is probably Crystalline Corpse Bloom and, I don't know, Explosive Payload. This is definitely a hand cannon geared towards PvP, 100%. Doomsday. This is a grenade launcher that I honestly forgot existed, but if I had to go with a perk roll that they gave it, I would go with probably Envious Arsenal and Bait and Switch as the best roll. It's got Explosive Light, it's got Jolting Feedback, which is kind of interesting on a grenade launcher, but still, tried and true, Envious Arsenal, Bait and Switch, that's just the best thing to go for on this. Last Man Standing actually has some interesting roles. Probably the biggest perk here is going to be Discord. Discord on a shotgun is always fun to see because it allows you to use your shotgun a lot more in PvE. But it can get things like Heal Clip and Incandescent, and if you're a PvP player, it can get Opening Shot or Slide Shot with Closing Time. The best role for Bug Out Bag is 100% Destabilizing Rounds and Repulsor Brace. It can also get Attrition Orbs with Destab Rounds, but I feel like if you're already going with the Destab Rounds, you just take Repulsor Brace. It's just the better combination in my opinion. Bygones is honestly one of my favorite pulse rifles in the game, and the role that I would go for is going to be Attrition Orbs and Kinetic Tremors, but also a special shout out to Shoot to Loot and Kinetic Tremors, as those tremors can pick up the ammo for you. If you are a PvP player, it has Head Seeker, which is pretty good, and then pair that with either Lone Wolf, Zen Moment, or Keep Away, you got a pretty good PvP pulse rifle. And the final weapon for the actively dropped loot is going to be Python, and the only thing here that I think is remotely interesting is going to be, again, D-Stab rounds with Repulsor Brace. It can also get Withering Gaze as well, but I think D-Stab rounds are just better all around. For PvP, it can get Slide Shot and Opening Shot, but I feel like there are just 1,000 other shotguns that are better than this. Not only that, it's another aggressive frame shotgun, which means it's competing against another shotgun in Gambit, which is Last Man Standing. Both of them being aggressive, just different flavors. So if you're using this for PvP, honestly, you have way better options elsewhere. Nightwatch unfortunately loses overflow for some reason. I don't know why the tier 5 version of this gun does not have overflow, but I guess go with Rapid Hit and Explosive Payload. Like, that's the best thing here probably. Maybe Rapid Hit and Rampage. But yeah, Nightwatch is kind of like, they took away his best perk. I'm not even kidding about this. It no longer has overflow. It used to, but it no longer does. Bottom Dollar has like a bazillion different perks, and not a single one is Destabilizing Rounds or Repulsor Braced, and I'm incredibly sad about that. This is like genuinely probably one of the most mid hand cannons I'm looking at right now. I don't know, Firefly is on here. It's a PvP hand cannon, 100% slide shot, opening shot, but I feel like you're competing against Igneous Hammer right here, and there are just better options than bottom dollar. Sorry if you're a fan of this gun, not really any recommendations here from me. The Herodic C. This is a gun that I didn't even know existed until today. And to be honest with you, it's not that great either. It's got like 2 different perk options, and I would think the best one here is probably Shoot to Loot and Headstone, and that's about it. You know, as I'm going through these perk options, I'm starting to realize why these weapons are not actively dropped pieces of gear, because they honestly have nothing good going for them. I mean, really, this gun has Repulsor Brace, and that's about it. Well-rounded? I mean, do you even know what that does? Perpetual Motion's a good perk. I think that's pretty good. Maybe this is decent PvP, but even then, like, it doesn't have Head Seeker or anything. Gut Shot Straight, anybody? I don't know. Yesteryear. Again, another gun I'm not even going to bother. I might just scrap this entire second half of the video, to be honest. Laser Painter is probably the first weapon here so far that has something actually worth going for. Since it has the Vice Stinger origin trait on a linear fusion rifle, you can pop off a lot of shots, and it can get Vorpal Weapon and Clown Cartridge. No other damage perks here outside of Focused Fury, which I don't think is better than Vorpal, in my opinion. Yeah, that's about it. Yeah, Clown Cartridge and Vorpal Weapon is what I'll go for. Breakneck. It's finally a good gun that we can talk about. The third column is nothing too interesting. I would probably go with maybe something like Shoot to Loot, Pugilist, or, you know, even Subsistence. Everything else is just kind of like PvP related, like Under Pressure, Eye of the Storm, stuff like that. But that final column, you can get Attrition Orbs, Kinetic Tremor, or Onslaught. Kinetic Tremors is probably my pick for the best perk here, just because I think it's all around an S tier perk. But Onslaught, don't sleep on that. This is the original gun that had it, and I still think it's pretty good on this gun, so don't sleep on that. Backfang is actually kind of a surprise, having a pretty decent roll of Lead from Gold and Volt Shot, or Lead from Gold and Jolting Feedback. That third column, I would only recommend Lead from Gold. Everything else is just kind of bleh. And in that final column, you want the arc perks. I mean, don't go for Vorpal, don't go for Wellspring. Like, you want Jolting Feedback or Volt Shot, because it's an arc glaive. You want the arc perks. It's just, they're better than all the other perks here. I don't know, maybe Swashbuckler might be decent, but no, arc perks are better. And finally, the last weapon is going to be Lonesome. I'm not even going to waste your time. Do not even bother grinding for this. It can still drop with full auto trigger system. You think I'm kidding. You think it can still drop with full auto trigger system as a perk. I don't know. If you want to use this gun, go for like Zen Moment, Slide Shot, Rapid Hit, Slide Shot. It can get Kill Clip, I guess. But yeah, full auto trigger system, if you're interested in that. I don't know. This gun seems like a waste of space. This gun actually made me a little bit upset, I'm not going to lie.